So the point of making this video is to have it go along with the shadow drilling work along, because I feel it's really important when you shadow drill to use your imagination and to visualize the move as you're performing it solo. But it's hard to use your imagination and visualize doing the move when you have no context for that and you don't know what the move is supposed to even look like. So that's the point of this. Also, I typically do this feet to back segment first because as I'm old and I'm just getting started, I'm not level changing hard, I'm not bouncing off my knees, and it just gives me a chance to warm up my spine a little bit before I warm up my knees and then get into more movements. So this movement's a sag head and arm, and with this, if I'm going to hit a head and arm on someone, I'm not going to step around and get off balance. It's just twisting and pivoting your feet. So as I hit this, a lot of times what I like to do to start is have some type of a tape line so I get a bearing for where my feet belong. I'll leave my feet on the tape line. Now, sometimes I can also talk about this as like a baseball head throw, where if I'm like pitching, I'm stepping into it with my front foot, and then I'm twisting my hips. So with this head throw, I'm just swinging my upper body, almost like I'm throwing a punch, and I'm pivoting my feet. I can step into it a little bit, and then I'm just twisting my hips. And that's that. This lateral movement, this arch and twist movement, you know, again, it's more about just warming up my spine, but again, using a tape line as a reference here. I know when you actually like hit a lateral, a lot of people step in with the opposite foot and then pull them back, so then he's like reaching over and then you throw him. And you know, I'm not going to be bombing people with suplexes and 5-point throws anytime soon, some big body lock. But that doesn't mean I don't like imagining doing that. So that's some of this, again, using your imagination. So when I do this, what I'm doing is I'm stepping my front foot in, and then I'm gonna lean back, and as I lean back, I am gonna pick up this foot. Now usually when you throw, your feet are planted, and then at the last moment, a lot of times you twist, and sometimes that twisting picks that foot up. For this movement, all I'm doing is I'm stepping in, I'm picking up my foot, and I'm twisting back over that lifted foot. So I step in, I twist back and twist over that foot. Again, if it's early in the morning, it's just a chance to get my spine a little warm and get my body moving. Step in, arch back, and twist over the foot that's lifted. Again, I typically use the tape line as some type of a basis. I step in, arch back, lift, and twist. With the Mulekick movement, a lot of times you'll see this with a whizzer kick or a lat whip over, but a lot of times with a pinch headlock, if you add a little bit more juice to it, a lot of times you'll kick that as you throw it instead of just sagging with it. So it's like a little bit more powerful twist and pivot. So again, I'm going to step on the leg I'm going to spin on. I'm going to lift my leg, and then I'm going to turn my hips and kick my heel and turn my body that way. And a lot of times, even with a whizzer kick, it's not just one kick, but they get their body sideways, and then it's hopping into it as well, which gets the person off balance and actually ultimately throws them over. But again, I step in, I lift, I kick and twist. So I step in, I lift, and I kick and twist. I step in, I lift, I kick and twist. underhook throwby, again, it's a lot of times the same types of movement I've already been doing with my hips. But again, this is about imagination. So I'm imagining I'm doing something different with underhooks as opposed to, like I say, head and arm. So with my underhook throwby, again, depending on what you get, you might throw the arm over, but a lot of times it might also end up being like a pancake kind of motion or a hip toss. So my underhook throwby, I say clamp, pull, and flip. So if you're imagining here getting to your underhook, if I post, I club, I dig my underhook, I'm going to take the hand off the head, go to the far arm, but now I'm going to clamp. So I'm going to pull the underhook hand, pull it tight. And then I'm going to, as I pull here, I'm pulling the arm, I'm twisting my hips. So I clamp, I pull, and I flip. My hand stays clamped on my underhook, and I'm flipping my elbow, which is what throws the arm over. So as I go here, again, using your imagination, getting to your underhook, I clamp, I pull, it turns my hips, I'm pulling on the arm, I pull, and I flip the elbow. So a lot of times we'll also call it like a whip over. So I clamp, I pull, and I flip. 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 tape line as a guide. I'm gonna cross step, and again, I'm not leaning back and getting off balance and pulling this person on top of me. Cross step, back step, spin, and hop. It's the hop that adds the extra power to this throw. Whether it's an arm spin, an arm throw, more of like a flying mare where you're dropping down to 2 knees or a knee in a kickstand, it's the extra pop at the end that gives a person momentum and gets them over the top of you. So cross step, back step, spin, hop, cross step, back step, spin, hop. Again, once you kind of get it down, I reverse the direction so that I don't get dizzy. If I was going cross step, back step, spin, hop, I'd start getting dizzy. So I go cross, back, spin, hop, cross, back, spin, hop. And with that too, it's important, again, to visualize, whether it's like you're doing it from an overhook or draping over or an inside tie. Use your imagination. Another feet to back movement is our inside trip. We're going to do stop, step, hop step, and then trip. And as I do this, again, it helps to have a line. I'm going to stay on the line. Imagine I have like an overhook and I'm pulling him towards me. I'm going to step in, but I'm not going to trip from way back here. I need to hop step, and then from that hop step, then I can hook my foot in. But as I hook my foot in, I want to look towards my heel and get my hips in to smack the person with my hips to knock them over. So I step, I hop step, and then I trip. And again, the trip, I'm trying to land square with my hips, and I'm going to hook through and land. Okay? Now again, if it's early in the morning and I'm not really warm yet, I'm not hitting my knees, I'll just get this motion where I step, I hop step, and then I trip. I don't fall all the way through looking over my shoulder. all I do is twist my hips through, and that's enough. So again, it's all imagination. And that hop step, it's kind of like a crow hop, like if you're throwing a ball and you hop into it. It's that same type of motion. So I step, I hop step, and I trip. And I get my hips in, arch your back as you fall. So step, hop step, trip. Step, hop step, trip.